Hey everyone, my name is Kelsey. This is Tarot with Kelsey. So, this video today is going to be about why it just feels like the classic teenage thing of like everybody's out to get me or the world is toying with me. Like, it just feels like things are really good and then they're really bad and you're like what the hell is going on, because it really just feels like the higher hand of the divine is just like playing with you. And that's what this reading is going to be about. So the core lesson, the reason why is because your self image and your center cannot be based on something external to you. It can't be based on your appearance. It can't be based on your relationships, your income, your status in society. So if you notice that your appearance is, going up and down all the time, if your status is going up and down all the time, you feel like you have to fight for stuff 24/7 if a relationship is going really well and then it crumbles, but you know that it is your path to have this particular relationship. Or like a few years ago for me, it was my skin. Like my skin was really, really awful in terms of like breaking out everywhere. And I was like washing my face twice a day. I was spending so much money on skincare. And basically, just the lesson was like your confidence cannot be based on your skin. It's got to be inherent. Like it's in a world that is ever changing when, you know, things are coming up all the time. Companies are coming up all the time to put other companies out of business. The world is changing 24/7 with COVID, everything. The way to stay adaptable and the way to just continually stay on top of the situation is to have your center be strong and also not based on anything outside of you. So, really, to see this as something that works in your benefit long term, this is giving you the steadiness and like the basically just allowing yourself to be your own rock in the world, because like you die by yourself, you're born by yourself, there's going to be journeys that you can only take by yourself. And that is just the way. And the way to move through that is to have a strong center. And the way to have a strong center is to have everything that you rely on in order to make your center at its optimal be taken away. And then you build your center back up, and then it's given back to you. And then you have your center and you're like, oh wait, maybe I don't need to build my center back up by myself. I can just cling to all these things again. And then they're taken away again. And then you build your center back up. And thus the process continues. So that's the main theme. That's the main lesson of why it feels like the world is toying with you. It's because it's readying you for an ever changing world. So let's get into the reading and see if the cards have anything to say about all of this, because I find it really interesting, just like the way that we're being molded psychologically by the divine is so interesting to me, because it's so genius and it's so understated, but it's so easy to get lost. And so that's why I'm doing these readings. And also, it's my passion. But anyway. So we have the Hermit card, we have the Four of Coins, we have the Knight of Wands, we have the Six of Wands, and we have the Hanged Woman. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Coins. The Six of Coins is about giving and receiving. So like basically just like giving and then taking away, and then giving to somebody else, taking it away, giving to. So if that's what's happening in your life, here we are. With the Hermit card. So I feel like this is the journey of building your core, your center to its optimal without needing the externality to validate it or to back you up. So with the Hermit card, this card is about going inward. It's about feeling like you are Okay, so the thing about going inward is that when you're not stable within yourself and your internal state is like wrecked the way it is, if you're using external things to validate your core, which I feel like that's what we're taught to do anyway. So, like, this is why society is set up in a way where people will do anything to avoid going inward. So, it's like normal, to feel really uncomfortable in sitting with yourself. So once you go inward, you hit the Four of Coins. The Four of Coins is about attaching. It's about feeling like, so with my skin, it was like, um, I'm nothing without clear skin. I need clear skin in order to have healthy relationships, in order to have, like be presenting myself as being confident in the world. I need this thing. I need it. I need it. That's the Four of Coins. And then we get to the Knight of Wands, which is, it's like a back and forth. It's like, you know what? I'll just have bad skin. Like, fuck it, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. And then teetering to the other side and be like, no, but I really want good skin. I can manifest this. so so it's like the back and forth of like, I want it, I don't want it, I want it, I don't want it. And then having glimpses of your optimal core after that and being like, okay, yeah, I have my optimal self-image. I don't need it. It's fine. And then one thing happens and you're like back to where you started at square one. Because the thing is, building your core, it doesn't just happen as like a one-time deal. It happens in layers. And there's just so many different layers, so many different areas to, build your core here and build your core there. And, it's like like rings on a tree, it just ow, 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 ow. So you have a strong core in this layer, and then one thing happens and you're back to where you started, back in the hangman energy. And you're like, oh, why is the world out to get me? I hate this. So that's the circular pattern that we're going through right now. Let's get another shuffle because, like I said, the way you build up your core is in layers, right? So we're going to do this reading in layers. So let's go to a deeper layer and see what this layer has to say about building your self-image and your core around nothing in the external. If you think about your role models and you think about the people who are just so, like, I really like Meryl Streep. And she just feels like like you could put her in any environment and you could put her anywhere and she would be the same, And that's the result of having a strong core, of not having my core be dependent on my skin, for example, So, because like before, if I would have had bad skin, I would have turned into like a completely different person, And I feel like that's normal in terms of like, that's the starting ground for everyone, whether it's like your body, your relationships, your income, your status in society, your friendships, etc. Everybody has something that they like base their inner sense of being upon. And I'm not saying that we're not supposed to need people, but it's almost like a huh how do I put, there's a difference between needing it and then like, there's like a healthy way and an unhealthy way. It feels so different, but I can't exactly put it into words, but maybe in the next, maybe that's what this is about. So the Eight of Swords is at the bottom of the deck, which is the feeling of feeling like you can't put things into words because it just feels so elusive, but it doesn't feel right, which is, the vibe. So the Princess of Wands and the Princess of Cups is coming out. Okay. So what I'm getting with this is that's exactly what this layer is about. It's about needing it, but like not needing it. So it's almost like when you integrate divinity, right? Because I feel like the path that we're taking as humans in this lifetime is to live your life through the lens of your connection to divinity, basically like the part of yourself that gives yourself life, you know? The mystery of how we're like a soul is like put into your body and like you're like a person. Um we're living our lives based off of that, and the more you integrate divinity, the more you get to these plateaus. And when you get to the plateau, everything can be taken from you, but you're still the same person. And so it's almost like you need people and you need experiences and you need all of these things to integrate divinity, and then you get to the plateau and then it can be all taken, but you're the same person. So that's different from I need so like clear skin, for example. I need clear skin, but I don't actually, it doesn't really take me anywhere, and I'm not really integrating anything. And if it's taken from me, I'm back to where I started, square one. You know, it's like a different vibe. So basically just integrating the divinity into your core and into your optimal so that you have that, and you basically have learned all your lessons in this lifetime when it comes to integrating divinity, and that is what your core is based off of. But it's not really conscious, and it's kind of it's basically like no one can take it from you, you know? It's kind of bulletproof in that way. So let's go to the next layer and see if there is anything here, because I feel like maybe this layer will be the last one and then I'll end the reading. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to integrating divinity is a little bit odd and a little bit elusive, and you can't really like, I feel like in our lives we're supposed to be spiritualizing and integrating divinity, and then once we get to that point, then there's a plateau, and it's almost like the you feel like once you harmonize with divinity, you can have everything that you want. It just feels like everything that you want. Well, okay, here's the thing. There's like ego desires, right? And then there's core desires in terms of like having everything that you want, but it not looking like what you want it to look like. Divinity will give you everything you want, but it's not going to look the way you want it to look. And the letting go of what you think you want is what we're going through right now, because it's like to be like classically spiritual, we're going through the ego depths, you know, to integrate the divinity. So the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Swords, and then we have the Ace of Swords, the Temperance card, and the Magician card coming out. Okay, this is about the higher power. This is about connecting to the higher power, connecting to the divine, connecting to, sometimes you can connect to frequencies and they're not divine, but they feel divine and people are acting like they're divine. And then sometimes you can connect to frequencies that are genuinely divine, but it's going to be in your mind like, like that's not what I want, or that's, you know, not what I'm going for, but they're divine. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like going through the maze of divinity, but I feel like you know what is divine. It's just a matter of letting go of your what you think you want, you know, in favor of what you actually want. And what you actually want could be in different packaging, or what you actually want could be exactly what you want, but it comes at a particular time and you can't really control the timing of situations. So that's all that I have here. I'm going to end this reading here. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that it held space, and I'll see you in my next reading. Bye.